Matters Arising. That program is Matters Arising, and the program, we look at events around the world unfolding, economy, politics, and all others, currency, anything that is, puzzling the people. We look at it, bring in guests, and they analyze for us. They give us their own views, and we ask them questions, and we just arrive at, conclusions. And the program is a BCOS Current Affairs Unit program, BCOS News and Current Affairs Department program. And today we are X-raying the Ondo State gubernatorial elections. What entailed before the governor, the incumbent governor, re-emerged, and the Ogun State Council polls and other adjoining political issues across the country. And yes, of course, we will be, you can join us live and via the BCOS, our social media line, www.bcos.tv/live, GoTV channel 2 105, and StarTimes channel 113. Also Facebook and IG at BCOS TV. Also Twitter at BCOS_TV. And you can also watch live on our YouTube channel, BCOS TVS. My name is Bimbo Akombi, and yes, of course, like I said, we will be, focusing on the Ondo State elections, gubernatorial elections, and the Ogun State local government elections. I have with me two eminent guests, two prominent guests in the house. I have a political analyst in the house. He is Engineer Ayodele Omogbemini, and is also the Public Relations Officer of the Intra-Party Advisory Council in Oyo State. Engineer Omogbemini, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you, my uncle. Thank you for having us on this program. It's a privilege to be here on this darling station. Thank you.
Yes, now again, I have this prominent legal practitioner here. Yes, he is an esquire. I don't know how they acquire that esquire. I don't know when I will acquire that esquire. Fatai Akinsomi Esquire.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
Yes, when can I acquire the esquire?
You will acquire when it is acquirable.
Yes, like I said, we will, just go straight to the point now. The Ondo State gubernatorial elections was held last Saturday. The governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Agbola Ajayi, yes, he lost the elections with a wide gap compared to the APC gubernatorial candidate and also the incumbent governor of Ondo State. And people are wondering what happened because they thought the PDP would have an upper hand, considering the array of PDP governors, PDP leaders that thronged the state prior to the elections. Now, Engineer Ayodele Omogbemini, how can you I'm sure you must have monitored the elections.
I was on ground in the state.
You were on ground, yes. Yeah. How can you describe that election?
Okay. I would like to start by giving my view regarding to how, before the election, the so-called pre-election, the election day, and post-election.
Yes.
Prior to the election, the temperature of governance in Ondo State, or let me say in Nigeria as a whole, was nothing to write home about. We can see that as of today, Nigerians are not comfortable with the way the current president is actually administering the state of the nations. So, and that transcends to states and local government. But in Ondo State, it was obvious that people were not comfortable with the administration of the All Progressive Congress, APC, in the state. They were not happy with the way the President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was going about issues of hunger, poverty in the land. But prior to the election, when we got to know that the candidate of the PDP was Agbola, a lot of sentiment came in, considering his antecedents. Agbola was a one-time deputy governor in Ondo State.
Ondo State, yes.
And precisely the deputy governor of former governor,
Akeredolu.
Late
Yes.
senior advocate of Nigeria, in person of Ogbeni Rotimi Akeredolu, in his first term. And he grudgingly had issues and they departed. And that saw the emergence of our dear brother, Lucky Ayedatiwa Orimisan. And you see, in everything in life, your name speaks louder. So, in a nutshell, looking at the candidature that all the 18 political parties presented at that election, Lucky Ayedatiwa was more preferred than any other person. You rightly said it, that looking at the margin, the election that can be compared with that was the second term and first term of our incumbent governor in Oyo State, Engineer Seyi Makinde. Okay. We had about 250,000 difference between Ayedatiwa and Agbola. That's to tell you that he doesn't come close in the expectation of the people. Although there are so many other factors that actually cumulated to the results. But if we are looking at the personality of the individual, don't forget, Ayedatiwa is the current governor. Oh, he has not really done much that could actually, to give him an acclaim, but I spoke about his name. The Bible says the name of a man makes room for him. Perhaps, maybe that was actually what came into play to see that he won that election. So, by and large, I can say confidently that that election, the reflection of that election, is the state of the acceptance of the candidature of the two major parties. Lucky Ayedatiwa was more preferred to Agbola. In politics, they say politics is local. If a candidate cannot win his local government, it speaks volume. In fact, the margin in which Lucky Ayedatiwa won SLD local government, which was part of the local government I monitored, shows to us that Agbola was not a better candidate. Let me submit with that statement.
I was in that SLD. I was there.
You're okay. I was in SLD. I was in Ilaje. I was in Irili. I was in Okitipa.
I was in SLD. I was in Ikale.
Ikale. All those axes, we call them Ikale.
Ikale.
And in South Senatorial District, we have 6 local governments.
My colleague was actually in the Ilaje, where the governor actually came from. Now, I want to ask you before I go to my barrister here. What can you say about this power of incumbency? People believe that power of incumbency comes in. Then does it not, relate to some kind of systematic rigging? Because Agbola said something. He said when we interviewed him, about 40 or 50 pressmen were there. We interviewed him. He gave some claims. He knew he would lose that election. And he said there was some sort of intimidation, talking about security issues. Now, that was why He did not commend INEC for doing a good job. He condemned INEC. He said, why was it that it was in his ward that security people were so large, security presence, military, they were moving up and down, police, mobile police, civil defense. He won in his unit, but he lost the ward. So, talking about this power of incumbency.
Well, to the best of my knowledge, police, DSS, civil defense were highly mobilized. You know, when we have all this corridor election, that has been the narration, even in Edo State.
Yes.
That has been the narration. You see police officers, maybe in the state, they have maybe 2,500 police. When it comes to election, they will bring 30,000 police officers to come and x-ray, to come and monitor the election. Now, it is easier to speak, you understand, of what you have done than somebody that is trying to convince people of what he will do. And that is the angle in which I am going to address the incumbency. In those states, PDP has lost power in the last 16 years. So now, if you want such a party to marshal into power, it means your candidate must be the most preferred. Yeah, there are so many incumbencies that could cause challenges, incumbent power. They were trying to use in all the local government I went, there was no place that I saw the police officer intimidating people. And thank God you said you were on ground.
Yes.
There was no form of intimidation that I have seen. The turnout was quite encouraging. Yes, because I would not say massive.
The intimidation I'm talking about is merely seeing the presence, every presence. People believed that, you know, they were afraid of coming out.
If you want to talk about our
when
party.
When voter party was there, when people they came out, but it was not too much in some areas. They came out in some areas, but every presence I saw, I witnessed. And when I just got to know some points, it was revealed to me that definitely security must be, provided
for the election.
For the elections.
So there was no way we could ascertain. From my own view, there was no way I could ascertain that there was office, military or DSS intimidation to the public. It was a market. The election day was a market day. Don't let us give ourselves challenges. Yeah, Agbola may have his own claim to himself, but personally, I feel he has not done the needful. Personally, I feel he did not do his own work properly. So that is my own perception towards the election. Okay,
Barrister. Yes, this issue, we've talked about some things. We've talked about security. We've talked about the perception of the incumbent governor who later won, that is Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa. He won the election. Agbola Ajayi, well, he lost. He's from the PDP. How do you see this scenario? Then, do you think he will want to work with, the incumbent that just, got re-elected?
Well, let me first chip in one thing. The other time said the military, something intimidation. Probably the best language we are using, probably are thinking the angle of militarizations of the area because of the large numbers
that
of
the... Yes, that is what
you intend to say.
Yes.
I understand. You see, let me just make a small comment there first, before I go to the issue whether, generally, the state, Nigeria as a state, is under policing. We have not gotten numbers of policemen that we should be on ground vis-a-vis Nigerian population. Automatically, the police in each state is not enough to go around the polling units, vis-a-vis the populations and the numbers of military officers, police officers posted there. So automatically, when there is isolated election like that of Ondo, policemen, military personnel, and that things are also deployed prevalently from neighboring states, so as to make sure that they maintain peace and order. If they didn't do that, those who will engage in hooliganism, they will have a free day, and then the election will not be credible. And I thank God, my colleagues here said that it was there, and there is no embarrassment from security personnel. In respect of the Ebola, whether I would like to work, well, the problem with Nigeria is that they like, even if they are saying that they will lose at the Supreme Court, they want to challenge it with election so that it will look as if that they didn't lose fairly.
Yes,
That they lost election.
President Tinubu has even told them to go to court.
No, he doesn't need to tell them. Whether I tell them, it's constitutionally enshrined provisions. You hear what I'm saying? If you feel bad about the outcome of the election, you approach the court. You get what, that is it. So it's not whether the president says so, he didn't say so. You are at liberty to exercise it. It's your right.
But he's not saying anything for now.
He has the right to be silent. You cannot say, come and talk. When he says he has nothing to say, what will you say? So, and you see, the mental situations when during General Obasanjo's era, when late Bolage left the APC to join the PDP and work as the Attorney General, he left just another story on his own. When Nelson Wike from PDP, that time the PDP did not condemn Bolage. Mm-hmm. Now that Nelson Wike left, he didn't leave, he's still PDP. He's now working with APC. They are crying wolf all over the place. You understand what I'm saying?
Like Wike
so that
and
Wike,
Bola Ahmed.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So the PD are condemning. Hey, no, you should not. The other time, when the political class is a terrible class that I know in the nearest future. There may be a PhD program on political gladiators, because when you study, the thing they say is not good today, tomorrow they will say it is good. The one they say is good today, tomorrow they will say it's bad, depending on which area, yes, they fall into. So, but I will not be able to predict whether Bola will work with the government or will not work with them. It's a personal decision.
Yes, it is personal. Now, I want to ask you, both of you, why is it that the ruling party, either in the state or federal, APC or PDP or LP, ruling party, when they conduct, going to Ogun State now, they conducted their own local government elections. The ruling party will sweep all the local governments. It happened in Oyo State too before. It happened again. Why is it that it is the ruling party that, don't they allow other parties to, it is the state local government commissions, electoral commissions that organizes the elections. Why is it that it is the ruling party that sweeps, the parties that sweeps all the local government seats?
Well, personally, I don't want us to narrow our concept or thinking to the ruling party alone. Usually win local government election. Rivers just had their own election, and PDP was the ruling party, although we know there are challenges in the party. APP sweep majority of the local governments. In Akwa Ibom, PDP is in power. The Senate president, in person of Akpabio, won his local governments.
That's isolated cases. I put it.
That may be your view, sir.
Even that's the case of rivers that we are talking. As at that material time, the anchor man, what they're trying to say is that in a local government election, the thinking or the dictate of the governors always prevails. Even if you go to zero party, that zero party it will deliver. And that is what happened in rivers. There is no how you can say you want to build local government election for another new party less than 72 hours and they will just win.
No, sir.
But we are still coming on that. It's not this
that is not my submission. I'm trying to lay a foundation. And the foundation is that I don't want us to narrow our thinking. But I will tell you the reason why most of the state governments or the government in power always want the local government administration to be in favor of their party. I'm trying to lay a precedent. You understand? It is not peculiar to any political party. It is across the states.
Parties,
but what I'm saying is that I believe our democracy is getting to evolve. That is where the perception I'm coming from. Yeah. The first local government election that was held under this in the last 25 years was done concurrently with the general election. I mean, the election when a person, Lamadeshina, was the governor in Oyo State. The local government, the local government election then was done concurrently with the general
elections, yes.
And we saw the products.
And conducted by INEC.
But was conducted by INEC. But the constitution that was handed over to us, because, you see, it will not be fair if the governors today did not write the constitution. The military wrote the constitution and handed it over to us. So it's a lacuna from the constitution.
That is a gap.
That is the gap there. So that is where that's where I'm coming, the perception I'm coming from. And I think going forward, our House of Assembly and the National Assembly need to begin to think in right direction to ensure that there is also a free and fair environment for local government and election to actually have its way.
Yes, good submission there. Barrister, talking about the elections now, the elections have come, they have gone. APC is now saying, Oyo State and Osun State, the two states are the target that they will take over from the PDP. How is that possible?
You see,
is it through mouth or?
When the PDP was in power at the national level, they said they will rule for 50 years.
50 years, yes.
So, it's possible, it may not be possible. Time will tell. But what I know absolutely is that the problem with the political class is that we didn't allow the institution to perform their roles. At times, during the election, they will accuse the winner of vote buying. Whereas, they will just outsmart one another. Most of the politicians and political class that have the opportunity to use any tactics they want to use to get vote from the less privileged. And you may not lose the sight of the extent of the poverty. Somebody is not sure of tomorrow. Even today is not sure. He has been in abject poverty and averagely neglected. Then on the day of election, somebody brought 20,000. You who did not even know he was existing yesterday, you are now preaching rhetorics. You don't take the money. That is not an antidote against poverty. It will not solve his poverty, but it will solve immediately something. Tomorrow does has no meaning. If you are not tomorrow, you may think say you will live tomorrow. Supposing you die today, that is their thinking. So how do they survive now? Is their thinking. Unless the government in power put machinery in motion to eradicate poverty, it will be very difficult. So anybody can win any state depending on certain parameter or the type of things that is on ground. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The issue of the local government election, at times when I see on television people abusing the poor people that collect money, what about the big players in the field? In the state level, like we could say that we are talking now, we have the governor, is rich, is educated. We can say between him and the something Adebitu, or Adebitu is in PDP. He's also educated, he's a former senator. And the two of them are accusing one another of doing almost same thing. Of doing one something. So what I'm saying in essence is that it is the society. The problem of the election in Nigeria is society problem.
Yes, Barrister, we'll go on with that. We'll take a short commercial break now.
Left so many words unsaid.
How life is this crowd? With Tom Tom, no Lily. Let's do this.
Stay confident and stay focused. Breathe for it with Tom Tom.
Yes, you're welcome back. The program is still Matters Arising on BCOS television. Iliakide, Rita Bashon in Ibadan. And yes, Engineer Ayodele Omogbemini is still in the house, and legal practitioner Fatai Akeswami Esquire is also still in the house. Yes, Fatai Akeswami, you were saying something. You are continuing with something about collecting money also.
Yes.
And I want to remind you, one woman, said she collected money, that all of them collected money to vote for one particular party.
Which was not mentioned.
Yes.
Okay. You see, that is what I said is a societal problem. There's problem of poverty, problem of illiteracy. I saw that film, that picture, where the other woman was like, don't talk about money, don't talk about money.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
He actually alluded to the fact that we were told not to tell anyone.
Yes.
So
That was the conversation.
now he's seen it as a normal way of life.
"No, let me
because
talk."
of the level of illiteracy. You get what I'm saying? And I said the last time before the break that the problem with our election is society problem. It's from the top. Somebody who yesterday was nothing, today because they have opportunity to win this election, within 4 years, you are seeing almost controlling mansions. You get what I'm saying? And you now come back the fourth time to meet the same people. Whom yesterday brother drank Gary, the day before he drank Gary, the children you are using to all these things, and then you are now preaching, don't collect money. It cannot enter. You get what I'm saying? So we have to take care of the society. On the issue of a political party winning one state or the other, the parameter to win election, as the election is approaching, everybody will see it.
It is quite easier. It is easy to say, but implementation will actually have its way. Let me use Oyo State as a prototype. In the general election, the current governor of the state, Engineer Seyi Makinde, was not too decisive about. He was not really on the spot for his party candidature, and he said he's going to support the unity of the nation, which led to senators, 3 senators out of 14 reps. We have almost 9 being won by the APC,
yes,
and they had 3
APC.
senatorial seats. And people were thinking that automatically will transcend in the gubernatorial election. But the nomenclature changed. You see, by and large, our people know what they want. But you see, in places where they don't really have options. That is when you see anybody can just predict. Ganduje that spit that statement, the Ganduje lost his own party to NMPP, sir.
Yes.
in
Yes.
the north, he lost his party to NMPP. So he left the government after 8 years, and his party cannot continue. You see, one thing I've seen that will speak for a man is his deeds. In Oyo State here, I am very sure the good people of this state cannot easily forget the good intentions and the good deeds of the current governor.
Yes.
So if peradventure this nomenclature is maintained to another election by 2027, don't be surprised that PDP will continue to rule.
Yes.
In Osun, Adeleke is actually doing something good that people are referring to. If by the end of his first 4 years, they preferred him ahead of any other candidate, don't forget, they left the APC of 4 years to pick Adeleke, don't forget.
Yes.
So that is to tell you that politics, number one, is local. And no one can just give an adverbial phrase or a concluding thought across the globe that what transcended in one party, the issue with PDP had in Edo was clear to everybody. APC, Obaseki was in APC. Because he had issue with Oshiomhole, he left APC to PDP. And when he got to PDP with the his deputy governor, and when he got to PDP, because people do not really support Obaseki, he won his second time rebid. And after he has gotten that, he thought he was already a god. And they were already telling him, let us do this. The next candidate would have been the deputy governor. I'm very sure if PDP had allowed, if Obaseki had allowed the deputy governor to continue the good work, I can tell you, PDP would have won that election.
Yes.
But they lost their bid because there was no political understanding within the party.
Cohesion.
So, cohesion, thank you. So, whatever transcends in each election will determine who will definitely win that state. And now, to the local government election in Ogun State, I would like to say something. Yes, we know the nomenclature by which our people go about politics, election, highly monetized, everywhere. It's so disheartening that electioneering monetization has come to stay in our election in Nigeria. It's so disheartening. It's nothing to write home about. It's not something that we can encourage. And that is why you see that those that come to power see it as a business tycoon. Somebody who has spent heavily, sir. Let's look at the number of voters in Ondo State. Let's take, for instance, a registered voters is 2.7 million. Those 2.5 million. Those who collected voters was about 1.7, and about 850 people voted. Let's assume that we had those figures. Oh, some were spending 10,000, some were spending 5,000. Somebody that spent 10,000 to any vote of, let's say, maybe the 300,000. Look at that. That's about 30 billion naira. Thereabout. Such a person, if he gets to power, what will be in his ideology? Is to reap.
To reap is 30 billion.
That is it. So it's so unfortunate that today in our electioneering process, we have who we call the business class coming to vie for political office. And every businessman wants to do what?
To make money.
Or to make profit. So if they want to make profit, it will be at the expense of what they should do to this. So we as a nation, like you rightly said about systemic problem, we as a people, we need to be intentional going forward to ensure that those people we allow to get tickets in our party are not business class, are political class who intend to do good for the nation.
Yes, Barrister. Now, talking about that, and I know you want to react to what you said.
No problem.
Do you think people are now voting for parties or individuals?
Well, both comes to play in politics. Some, they have strong adherence to a political party that they even telling you, my grandfather was so person party, my father was so person party, my so I cannot defeat. So, and some, the caliber of somebody that is on the ballot paper also determine the outcomes of the election. So, and so that is that about that. It counts. The candidates and the party both determines the result of the election.
So it means if somebody that is not really qualified or not good, that people know that that person is not really qualified, goes to one good party, which people like, so they will vote for that person.
You see, it is because the party ideology has been totally erased. In the past, once certain political parties are able to win under the platform of a certain political party, you have won the election. You get what I'm saying? Because there is party ideology. But unfortunately, nowadays, party ideology has been erased, killed. You get what I'm saying? It's not even existing. Once individual is on board, you just come with your own agenda. You come with your own ideology. You just do things as you like. There's no party control. No, nothing.
No structure.
No, even if the structures are there, the ideology is not there. You get what I'm saying? If during the days of the ideology, party determines who will win the election. Once you're in social political party, they will know that they will vote there. I remember sometimes, my dad was very old then, somebody but now came, they said they brought rice. They said, my dad now told me, the way I saw those people, I don't see them, but they said they are a lower party, but I don't think so because the way they are doing it, you see, that is intelligent. It's not educated, but it's educated in mind. Was able to discern. So what I'm saying in essence is that political party determines how people vote in an election. And the candidatures of the person that is on platform. And that's why my colleague, when he was talking about the issue of Aiyedatiwa and Ajayi, well, Aiyedatiwa is an incumbent. You know what I'm saying? He must have done, no matter, within the past 10 months or so, he must have done one or two things to certain community.
He actually did.
Yes, because I read one documentary program which they show how he influenced his impact on employment, his impact on health sectors, his impact on infrastructures and road networking. You know what I'm saying? No matter how, it's earning something. Aboyo did not have that advantage. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, otherwise, they also came from the same zone, senatorial district, south.
Yes.
And within that senatorial district, the government, those who are with the government, whether as SA, whether as councillor, whether as chairman, they are also there. They will contribute their own quotas. And thirdly, if you will not forget that the other time, this Aiyedatiwa was absolutely persecuted to the extent that he was going to be forced to resign.
Yes.
At that material time, when he was able to escape it, he asked people's sympathy. They will transfer that sympathy to him during the time of election. So there are so many variables that if you are able to analyze it critically, you will know that the problem with society is that once you lose an election, INEC is not doing well. When you win, INEC is doing well. When the court rule in your favor, yes, you have the best judiciary. When they rule against you, the judiciary has been compromised. So we are not, when we lose election, we condemn the system. It's very, very unfortunate.
Well, I want us to talk more about this voter apathy. Voter apathy, people will not come out. They will have kind of attitude towards election times, election periods. If they even come out, they will come out very late. It was not like that in the past. I remember during the June 12 elections, MK Abiola, you can remember how people came out en masse to vote for Bashorun Abiola and even subsequent elections. So I don't know. People are becoming enlightened, but as they are being enlightened, the more they are, getting their minds off elections. So what is happening?
Well, the state of election in Nigeria is far from expectation. That's number one fact. We expect to be advancing in our electioneering process, but you will see that almost on a daily basis, we are deteriorating. I'm not comfortable using that word, but that's the best word that I can use at the moment.
Yes.
The state of electioneering process is deteriorating in Nigeria. So, and this is causing apathy. Number two, security challenges. You said it. You said when you get to Eseldo, you notice that people came out in Agbola's ward.
Yes.
But in other polling units in those wards, some people did not want to come out because they
witnessed.
They don't know
yes,
what could happen next.
Because of the heavy presence of security
of security. And when you see security, you should be at peace because they are to maintain peace and order.
Absolutely.
So when somebody who is expected to maintain peace and order is now being feared not to cause mayhem, you should know the psychology of the people has been punctured. You know, when you get to a place now and you see police officer, you should be happy. But when you begin to have a sentiment in your mind that, okay, let's take a look at that video clip of the person that was arrested, that they found cash in his boots. It was all over the media.
Yes.
Now, it was reported that there was a police officer in those polling units. There was civil defense. It now took the DSS that was patrolling to discover that what happened. It means some people have been compromised. So if we have such a state, definitely people will be losing interest in that process. So the apathy we are having in electioneering process in Nigeria is because gradually Nigerians are beginning to lose interest. And the last view is that if you look at the way people are queuing to vote that day, the way people had to stay in the sun, but at the end of it, they had nothing to show for it. They will lose interest. You know, when you suffer for something, when you pass through pain for something, if you get the benefit thereof, you will be happy. You will be encouraged to do more. So people have now seen that despite our effort to ensure there is stability in governance, despite our effort to ensure that the person we want is in power, such a person gets to office and he will not do their bidding. Today in Nigeria, how many states meet with the people before they do their own budget? In Oyo State here, our own governor, across the local government, they will meet with the community leaders.
Yes, town hall meetings.
They will have town hall meetings.
Yes.
That will form the input for the budget. That is how politics and governance should be run. That is how it should be run. So when such is not in place, people will definitely lose interest in electioneering process. So
Yes.
these are the factors that are actually affecting apathy in electioneering.
So, Barrister, this apathy, how can we, the Independent National Electoral Commission, maybe the state governors, local government chairmen, well, I don't really know the impact of local government chairmen on, election campaigns and, education on people. How do you think this apathy, can get off their minds, people's minds?
You say, one, how do we restore
Confidence.
Confidence.
It's not only confidence, hope in the mind of majority who are hopeless. For now, if you do thorough comparative analysis between INEC and the state
Of our nation.
and the state NEC, the state CX.
Okay.
In some cases, it's not to say
State
Yes.
commission,
Yes.
yes.
that are in the state. If you do comparative analysis, you will still conclude that INEC at the federal level is still better than SEC in the state level.
How is it better, sir?
Now, One, if you monitor your area very well, when it comes to the issue of INEC, you will win your polling unit. You will win your ward. But that's not so when it comes to the issue of SEC. What I'm saying in essence is this. I think, in my own opinion, the first thing we should have done, and I think which they are trying to do now, is to make sure, to ensure that the local government election is centrally done by INEC. People stand, they ask, if the hope is not too much, they have better hope when the election is being conducted by INEC than when it is being conducted by
state
CX.
CX.
So that's just the first fundamental things. Because if you say a party, you are talking about a party, somebody who doesn't have hope, is a state of hopeless, anything concerning with that grammatical empathy or empathy or anything you call them. You get what I'm saying? You know? Let's sanitize the system. Let people have confidence in the system. Let people have trust in the system. Let's bring people who are in the state of hopelessness. Let's create so that we have hope that this is your election, these things we can't. If they don't, you know, they don't want people to partake. They will just say, oh, after all, whether we go, we don't go. Is it not the same thing? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, is our you know, electoral process. Do you believe it is, you know, becoming better? Do you believe, you know, people always believe that rigging, yes, rigging. I don't know. Let me just give you, see the votes of the APC for Ondo State, 366,781 votes. The PDP, 117,845 votes, you know, very large margin. You understand? People still believe that, yes, they are carrying ballots and ballot boxes and carrying. And I always think, I don't see the times have overcome all those. They are what we call systematic rigging, which I've witnessed somewhere before.
Rigging in an election, you only rig where you are popular. You know, I'm going to speak more as a political class in that aspect. You only rig where you are doing what? When you are popular.
But if you are popular somewhere, you don't need to rig.
You know, let me land, sir. You know the word rigging in our election, we have narrowed it to cheating in an election. Let me use that language. You understand?
All right.
But when we talk about rigging in its entirety, you will see that you only rig in a place where you are popular. Let's take, for instance, now, Agbola wants to go and rig election in Ilaje local government. Is it possible?
It is not possible. Absolutely
that's
impossible.
what I'm saying. So let's take it from that essence. So if it is not possible, then how do you rig? Our political class have devised different means of rigging. Number one, marginalization. Those are the systemic rigging that we have. Marginalization of voters. You understand? Number one. Two, ensuring that the process is delayed or compromised. Agbola said something during the election. He said,
yes.
Why is it his own turn? That when they brought Beavers, yes. Beavers was not working.
Yes, 10 minutes. I was witnessing
now,
it.
It might not be an intentional act, but because it happened to him, people will refer to it as systemic rigging. Because, let's say we have 5 hours for electioneering process. INEC got there maybe 10 o'clock. You know, 2 hours have gone. So the numbers of people that we vote will be reduced. So the result from that voting point will be reduced. So those are yes, you see, these Beavers has really helped us from the old era of rigging.
Yes.
No, don't let us give you. But the systemic rigging is still there. And the last systemic rigging is buying of votes. And I don't know what our government can do to eradicate that. Yes, people love Ayedatiwa. People do not hate Agbola either. But something make the difference. there was more support rallied around the party in governance. And that is what you see. That was why you see that margin. Yeah, don't let us, like he rightly said, in the 11 months of Ayedatiwa, he had done one or two things to buy people over. And the sympathy of the family of Akeredolu not wanting to hand over to him actually has given him some sense of belonging and getting sympathy vote. But nevertheless, rigging in our election is changing. But the challenge is that the way our political class are thinking in winning election, our electioneering guidelines is not working at that pace to address it. Okay, let's take for instance now. Somebody that man that was, thank God, we have a learned person in the house. Yeah. I mean, a legal luminary. That guy that they found money in his car. What part of the law of the electioneering guidelines will they use to charge him to court? Before you know, whether 2-3 days he has been released. Those are the lacunas, and that we must address it. If we don't address them, there is no way we can successfully eliminate rigging in our process.
Yes, Barrister, I saw you wanted to react.
Because of time, what I know for sure is that I align with him, whether no matter what opinion we might hold him, we are moving forward when it comes to the issue of election, preparation for elections. In those days, you will be in polling units like this, you will see armed people, they will come live.
Yes.
Carry the ballot paper, carry everything. I think that area has gone.
Yeah. Well,
so what I'm saying is we are moving
at a slow pace.
At a slow pace, because the political gladiators also decided to
slow us down.
the system for their selfish end. But I am strongly of the opinion that sooner or later the election in Nigeria will be free and fair.
Yes, briefly, before we go, I just wanted to compare. I don't know. Do you think our kind of election can be compared to, it cannot even be compared to that of the United States?
It's not possible.
Yes,
they have their own problem.
Can Nigeria adopt that kind of system?
We are not yet there. You are not yet there, because in Nigeria, if you want to go electronically, because their own election is already electronically. You can vote in the comfort of your home. You can vote anywhere.
But they started elections from states.
You said?
Each state, from states.
You know why it will be very difficult? Ordinary national ID card, we are still on it.
Not all Nigerians have that.
Moving forward, moving backward. And those are the instruments that will enhance the system we are talking about. So when we get there, we will know. Because even once you do small things somewhere, you'll be able to identify you with immediate difference.
Your social security number.
But now, we have not reached that stage, but I think within the next...
It's a good anticipation for us as a nation to aspire that we want our election to be like that of Germany, of United States, United Kingdom. But we have a lot to do. And don't forget, Nigeria democracy is still quite very young. I hope we get there. Our election, we should not be comparing with those people. We should address the challenges we have now.
Yes,